In front of me, I have the Bose A20 Aviation Headset right here, and we're going to be giving it a review from a pilot's perspective. So let's begin started with this case. This is a soft shell case that just comes with the headset. And I wanted to talk about it because it does do a fairly good job of protecting the headset, but I think it could be a little bit harder, and I think it could do a better job of making sure that if you hit it or something, it doesn't just break the headset. But you open up the zip here, the headset comes out like this, and it's sort of folded up. I have some spare batteries in there as well, and the headset just comes out completely like this. Now, inside the headset, there's a slot for 2 AA batteries, which is what the headset uses. And then there is a space for your license or whatever else you want to include in here, a card, etc., contact info. But apart from that, it's pretty much just an empty case. So we'll set that aside for now, and we'll get on to the actual headset. So the headset comes just like this with some wires, and I have, of course, the dual general aviation plug design, which I think is the most common, but if you're a helicopter pilot, you can get the helicopter plug as well, and that works just fine. Then here is the remote. This is the sort of control center. You can adjust your volume between each ears. You can control the Bluetooth settings. You can control, switch the headset on and off. Pretty much that's about it from here. And we'll move on to the actual headset itself. Microphone, of course, the ear cups, and this opening and closing stuff. So put it on, and we'll get the microphone set up just about right. All right, so this is what it looks like when we're wearing the headset. If I were to switch it on, I press this power button, the lights start blinking, blue for Bluetooth and green for power. I have it set on the lowest volume setting right now, but you can adjust these 2 controls for your volume. Very easy to do. You can pair other headsets by pressing this Bluetooth button. You can switch it on and off, etc. Here there's a slider switch that says mute, mix, and off. So mute will essentially mute any Bluetooth audio when there's any communication going on in the by air traffic control or in your intercom. Mix will mix it in. It'll actually just lower the volume slightly of your Bluetooth audio and put it together. And off will just switch off your Bluetooth completely. There'll be no audio. There's also a volume switch right here on the side. This controls your audio for Bluetooth, as well as if you have something plugged in through the headphone jack down here. So overall, I think the build quality of the headset is extremely nice. Oh, I forgot to mention that there are also these clips right here. These help you you can slide these along the cable, and you can attach these to your clothes or to the side of the aircraft or whatever. That way it doesn't fall off, or get tangled or whatever when you're actually flying, which is a really useful feature. I've used that quite a lot and make sure that it's not hanging on the floor or putting strain on these connectors. It's really useful as well. Now, in terms of the quality of the build, let me just switch the headset off so I don't waste battery life. In terms of the quality of the build itself, I think it's built really well. This band area up here is metal. There's a nice, really high quality spring, that puts a decent amount of force here, but not too much that it actually hurts you. It's just the right amount of clamping force. The cushions here are really soft, really nice and plush, and there's quite a bit of space inside. So your ears feel like they're covered, but they don't feel like they're enclosed or touching the inside of the headset itself. The only complaint that I do have with the build quality is that it does feel a little bit plasticky just on the actual ear cups themselves, because they are made of plastic. Now, the top half is metal, but a lot of these interior components are actually plastic, which is fine. It's not the worst thing in the world, but and it certainly helps in terms of lightness and comfort. But I do wish that for a $1,000 product or a $1,200 product with the Bluetooth version, it really could feel a little bit more nice in the hand, and I feel like that would really help the case and make it so that it's really worth it. Now, in terms of value, it is a very pricey headset, of course. It's the top of the line model from that Bose offers, apart from the other Pro headset that's for airline pilots or private jet pilots or whatever. But in terms of the actual value, I think it certainly was worth it because I used to get really severe headaches when I would fly, especially in a noisy environment in a hot cabin in the summer. I mean, I would become really exhausted, really, I would have severe headaches, and it would just make it difficult to fly for more than, an hour or two at most. And for longer cross-country flights, I mean, that's just the beginning. So for me, I tried other headsets. The clamping force on those was much higher, and so it would just be really difficult to fly for long periods of time. Once I switched to these, and sorry, that was the one factor that really convinced me to purchase a good set of noise-canceling headsets, and I decided, might as well get this when I can, and that way I don't have to worry about it much later on in my training and et cetera. But this really helped me because now once I switch to this, I really have no issues with headaches. I have no issues with flying for long periods of time. I don't feel any exhaustion or any fatigue at all once I'm flying. In fact, I feel refreshed. And the noise canceling is also excellent. I would say, easily one of the best in the industry. It's just superb overall, and it blocks out almost every bit of noise. But yeah, you can still hear the character, that still goes through. So for example, when you're flying, you want to listen to the engine sounds, you want to listen to the air sounds over the wings just to make sure nothing is going wrong. And you can still hear it just barely. It's just much quieter. And it's much easier to pick out certain noises than others. And anything that goes wrong, you can hear it. Anything that's sort of normal, it's sort of taken care of, and it's not too loud at all. So I really have enjoyed using these headphones for the past 2 years, and they've really been an incredibly valuable investment for me, and I highly recommend anyone else to get it as well. The audio quality is pretty good. Just overall, I think the headset is amazing.